This is the gym where I train. It's in Dallas, Texas. It's an extraordinary place filled with people with disabilities, wounded warriors, and people are doing incredible things in this gym. My name is Gavin Mogan, and I wanted to document some of the things that I've been doing over the last 3 or so years. One day as I approached the doors to the gym to work out with my tribe, David Vibora saw me. He's the founder of the gym, just an incredible force of energy, ex-NFL football player. He gave me a huge bear hug, and when he released me, the symptoms I was experiencing of Parkinson's were gone. He let me go, and I ran over the table, similar like I did in that last video, and for a couple minutes I was completely symptom-free. Understandably, this was pretty shocking to me. I'd had Parkinson's for about 10 or 11 years at that point. Nothing like this I'd ever dreamed possible. So from here, I decided I'm going to see where this can go. So in honor of the personal science movement, my Dr. Sarah Regare and Andrew Lees, who'd asked me some questions about how I was able to do these things, I thought I'd put this in a video and do my best to explain. It was easy to repeat the phenomenon, if you want to call it that, in my gym, because the inspiration, the energy in that place. But what I wanted to do was repeat it in as many other places as I could and find out how long I could make it last, instead of just 2 minutes, which is with the usual duration of some of these episodes. I explored in a lot of different places using a lot of different emotions, from the feeling you get from giving to somebody to the feeling of anger. In this video, made myself think about some things that I wasn't happy with, and that fueled my ability to get rid of Parkinson's and
Eric, I'll give you your basketball back.
immediately become off. So there is some thought involved, but it's almost all about feeling and allowing the emotion to just overcome your body and your being. Struggling to move around the house and deciding to get curious. Changing the state of my mind and changing the state of my body. I tried all the emotions. There was love, anger, joy, gratitude, curiosity, and others. And most of them usually worked if I could create a strong enough emotion to go with it. For long, I realized I'd conditioned my brain or my mind to allow me to do it with much more ease. It wasn't as hard anymore because my brain understood I could do it and trusted it. What it feels like to me is the brain has to have assurance that I'm going to be safe, that I'm not going to fall. Society has conditioned me not to show this, to be ashamed of it, to hide it. Getting rid of that physiological state of fear that is off time for me is extremely difficult. Fighting it only makes it worse. I have to change my mental state, my emotional state. Extreme cold was another thing that did that. First, for me anyway, you gotta believe you can. You gotta feel you can. You gotta know you can. I wish I could tell you how I get to full freedom of movement when only seconds earlier it felt impossible. And anyway, if I could tell you how I got there, I might be limiting you on how you get there. It's a self-discovery process. My biggest challenge in escaping the freeze has always been at home in confined areas on hard floors. Prefer wide open spaces, soft places, and the energy of people around me.
You're signaling the gene ahead of the environment. Teach the body emotionally to self-regulate, to believe it's living in an environment that's flourishing, that's wonderful. Keep practicing it, and it'll become familiar to you.
Here I am again, capitalizing on the feeling of joy that I get from being able to give to someone with Joe Dispenza's narrative in the background. A lot of Joe Dispenza's philosophies overlap with what I was figuring out.
And says, hey, I walked in here with Parkinson's disease. I have no idea what happened, but I'm not trembling anymore. And boy, that last thing, just something clicked for me. And the person in the audience was watching the 4-minute mile right in front of them. People step out of wheelchairs, people on crutches, drop their crutches. I mean, you see the body literally recalibrates.
As you can see, I really enjoyed making these videos under all kind of conditions. Turns out it's really a whole nother thing. It's about control over myself. There are some songs where I really felt the rhythm that I could almost always count on. I've learned I'm stronger than Parkinson's. I don't think I've always been, but somewhere along the way I became that way. Not sure about that now, maybe exaggerated a bit. Can't get my mind, can't get my soul. Sometimes I'll get my body, but in a matter of moments, in any moment, I have the power to change my state. One thing I haven't talked about is the failures. And oh, there were failures. In fact, there's easily more failures than successes. But I honestly don't see them as failures. They're just part of the process of discovery. I find that when I overthink it, or I want it too bad, or my mind is not completely present, those are the hard times. That's where I usually am not able to transform the state.
I'm gonna go around and baptize places around my house.
There were times the confidence was so high I felt I could just do anything.
You know that phrase going through this doorway?
It's like you're conditioning yourself.
I'm conditioning myself.
So it's emotions, it's confidence, it's conditioning, it's many elements. It's very fluid. Things are always changing.
Really hard, narrow spot for me to get through.
It seems there's many ways to get to the same place, and it always helps if you're having fun and love what you're doing.